Hey guys, so the first celebrity I'm going to be talking about is Florence Scovel Shin. Florence Scovel Shin. She was an author and an artist who was also a New Thought spiritual teacher in the 1920s. She wrote the book The Game of Life and How to Play It in 1920, and she talks about your subconscious mind, your superconscious mind, and your conscious mind. And she breaks down the three, the subconscious mind, and how it works, and how your superconscious mind and how it works. It is such an amazing read, and I feel like she should have been much bigger than what she really is. But back in those days, women didn't really get the recognition that they deserve. But she goes in about the subconscious, the conscious, and superconscious. And the subconscious is simply power without direction. Whatever man feels deeply or imagines clearly is impressed upon the subconscious mind. So basically, she was teaching people how to visualize and how to feel, ways to manifest. The superconscious mind is the God mind within each man. So she said there's a place that you are to feel and no one else can feel. Something that you are to do which no one else can do. She said the imagination has been called the scissors of the mind, and it is ever cutting day by day. The picture man sees there, and sooner or later he meets his own creation in his outer world. So basically, she talks about how you can create your outer world, like your inner world matching your outer world, as above, so below. Basically, she teaches how you should believe, believing believing what you ask for, basically in the ask and it is given. Like, you put your request out there and you believe that it's going to come, because spirit is never too late. And it's so many stories in this book about her helping people manifest jobs and businesses, and it's an amazing book. I probably read it about 3-4 times by now, as well as listening to it. And she has amazing affirmations in here. One of my favorite affirmations is when she was helping a female friend who was trying to get work, and she says, I am a wonderful worker. I am a wonderful worker in a wonderful way. I give wonderful service with wonderful pay. She also helped a guy who wanted to manifest a business, and he says, I have a wonderful business in a wonderful way. I give wonderful service for wonderful pay. She talks about how you have to basically tell the universe, God, whatever you believe in, that you have to speak it into existence. And I just love this book. It's really it's something that if you want to know more about the law of attraction, I suggest you get this book and you learn more about Florence Scovel Shin, because she's amazing. And her book, and she also have other books on Amazon. I think it's called Your Word is Your Wand, and other books. Just type in her name and you will find tons of her books. I'm going to get the rest of her books as well. And I listen to a lot of her things on YouTube. She's amazing, and she's most definitely an unsung famous person who most definitely need better recognition. And as long as I live, everybody will know about this woman. So yeah. Okay guys, so the next celebrity I'm going to be talking about, some of you may know him, some of you may not, but his name is called Rev Ike. He was basically a preacher in the 70s. He taught people how to manifest the life they want by visualization and meditation, and as well as speaking it into existence. And people criticized him because they was claiming he was teaching from a new age perspective, as well as he was teaching about money. He was obsessed with money, and people didn't like that about him, but he did not care at all. He was an amazing speaker, and I love him. I probably listen to him every single day. One of my favorite quotes from him is, "I must become that which I say I am. Therefore, I boldly declare I am rich. I see it and feel it. I am rich in health, happiness, love, success, and prosperity." So I'm going to leave you guys with a few clips of his, and I hope you enjoy it.
People have hang-ups about money that I don't have. And I'm not any more in love with money than anybody else. It's just that I'm not a hypocrite about money. And I find out that people are just such hypocrites about money. For example, like preachers who get up and say how evil and dirty and filthy money is, and then proceed to try to raise it and to take it up in church. I love money, and money loves me. And it was the Apostle Paul who said that the love of money is the root of all evil. But I came along and corrected the Apostle Paul. It's the lack of money that is the root of all evil. And I've seen the lack of money hurt people more than the love of money.
Something to say whenever you use money, whenever you pay money, so that it'll come back to you. Now, that tells us what circulate means. To circulate means what? Return to point of origin. Say that with me. Circulate means return to point of origin. All of the money that I use returns to me multiplied in a never-ending cycle of increase and enjoyment, thank God. Psychic entity, talk to it. Reverend Knight says that money has ears. Not only that, did you know that money is a woman? Somewhere in Reverend Ike's book, there's that old Irish proverb. And money swore an oath that nobody who did not love her would ever have her. So money is sensitive. It's sensitive to what you think. It's sensitive to what you say. You say, "Oh my God, I'm spending my money." It says, "Bye, fool." And you know what they say about a fool and his money?
So now we're going to be talking about Abraham Hicks. I love Abraham Hicks. If you don't know who Abraham Hicks, you are most definitely missing out. Abraham Hicks, also known as Esther Hicks, is an American inspirational speaker, motivational speaker, and an author. She co-written 9 books with her late husband, Jerry Hicks, and presented numerous workshops on the law of attraction, with Abraham Hicks. Abraham, they call her Abraham Hicks because she works with an entity called Abraham Hicks, who she speaks to and channel. It's amazing. I love her Ask and It Is Giving. That's one of my favorite books from her. Also, The Law of Attraction is also a great book of hers. I listen to her often. And one of my favorite quotes of her is, "When you ask and it is given, it is always given. It is given every time, no exception. When you are or anyone or anything asks, it is given. She teaches people about the law of attraction and believe in themselves. And basically the same thing as everyone else. Manifestation is about the way you feel and the way you believe. You have to believe that it's real. She also talks about meditation and visualization and little ways on how you can manifest and how you can create your own reality. And I really, 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 really love her work. So I'm going to leave you guys with a few clips of hers, and I hope you like it.
Once you have trained yourself into a thought to the point that we are calling it dominant and you might call it belief, now law of attraction is responding to that. And you can't create outside of that vibrational patterning. You just can't do it. You can't practice thoughts and set up that vibrational patterning within yourself and expect law of attraction to make you the exception to law of attraction. Law of attraction is responding to how you think. And an easier way for you to hear it is law of attraction is responding to how you feel about everything. How you feel about everything is what you're living.
So the next celebrity I'm going to be talking about is Will Smith. I love Will Smith. He's probably one of my favorite actors of all time. Like, literally, I love him. He's an amazing person. He's also an amazing dad, and he's just amazing. I love Will Smith. I'm a huge fan. And Will Smith, he's an actor. If you don't know who he is, look him up. He's blew up all over Instagram. Recently, like, his Instagram is amazing, and people love him because of his Instagram. They also love him because of his acting skills. He's a comedian, he's a rapper, he's an actor, action movie, Bad Boys, and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I grew up watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I still watch it to this day. One of my favorite sitcoms of all time. But he also talks about, like, the law of attraction, and he said, like, one of his favorite books was The Alchemist. That's also one of my favorite books. And by Paulo Coelho. Oh my god, I'm probably saying his name so wrong, but it's called The Alchemist. And he also talks about the law of attraction and manifestation and how he created his own reality and how he spoke his life into existence. And one of my favorite Will Smith quotes is, fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist. Do not misunderstand me. Danger is real, but fear is a choice, and I totally agree with that. That's why I love this book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways, because fear is never going to go, but don't let fear stop you from becoming the person that you are meant to become. And I love that message so much. So I'm going to leave you guys with a clip of him talking about the law of attraction. And yeah, I hope you guys like it.
Self-discipline is the center of all material success. You cannot win the war against the world if you can't win the war against your own mind.
And that you are on this path to becoming a legend yourself in this business. So when I see Will Smith saying, I am legend, I'm thinking, this is Will Smith. I am legend. You are really becoming an iconic figure. What do you make of that?
It's what my grandmother told me I had to do. I was sitting with to Tyrese a couple weeks ago. Just coming off the Transformers with him, just talk, just about the business and just trying to really just he and I get on the same wavelength, so I could be of some assistance if I can. And there's a concept that I don't want to be an icon. I want to be an idea. You know, I want to represent an idea. I want to represent possibilities. I want to represent magic, right? That you're in a universe and 2 plus 2 equals 4. 2 plus 2 only equals 4 if you accept that 2 plus 2 equals 4. 2 plus 2 is going to be what I want it to be. You know, and there's a redemptive power that making a choice has, you know, rather than feeling like you're at effect to all the things that are happening. Make a choice, right? You just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. And then from that point, the universe is going to get out your way. It's like it's water. It wants to move and go around stuff, you know. So for me, I want to represent possibilities. I want to represent the idea that you really can make what you want. One of my favorite books is The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho, and I just believe that. I believe that I can create whatever I want to create. If I can put my head on it right, study it, learn the patterns, and you know, it's hard to put into words, some real metaphysical, esoteric nonsense, but I feel very strongly that we are who we choose to be.
Now we have the next celebrity, and that is Mr. Jim Carrey. I think a lot of people heard about this story already. I don't know, but I love hearing about it because it just makes me happy and just gives me like, yes, this is so freaking real. And it is Jim Carrey. When he, you know, Jim Carrey is an American actor, comedian. He's an amazing actor, amazing comedian. One of my favorite movies is The Mask from him. I love The Mask. I probably watch it every year. I love The Mask, and you know, he's great, and I love him, and he's funny, hilarious. And you know, he did an interview, I forgot what year it was, probably like in the 90s. He did an interview, he was on Oprah, he did an interview, and he talked about how broke he was, living in Hollywood and trying to make it as a comedian and an actor. And he was like dirt poor, but he always used to imagine himself being like this famous actor and having money. And then he also wrote out a check for himself, like $10 million of him saying he was going to make this money for acting before, like, he gave it 3 or 5 years, and he said this is going to happen, and he kept it in his wallet. It even deteriorated, and then eventually he ended up getting a job, Dumber and Dumber, and he was getting paid $10 million for it. So I'm going to leave the clip for you guys to see it, because he explains it much better than I just did, you know. But yeah, this is real, guys, and I hope you
like it. Okay. Obviously you knew somewhere inside yourself that you were destined to be famous, because I think it's really a marvelous thing, that visualization thing you did. Do y'all read about this or hear this? That you used to go up on Mulholland Drive and park
every night
and visualize seeing yourself as...
Yeah, I would visualize,
This is when you were broke and poor.
You know, right, having directors interested in me and people that I respected saying, you know, I like your work, or whatever that is, and I would visualize things coming to me that I wanted or whatever.
This was in like 1987, 85?
Yeah. And I had nothing at that time, so it was like, but it just made me feel better. It made me, at that time, all it really was for me was kind of making me feel better. I would drive home and think, well, I do have these things, and they're out there. I just don't have a hold of them yet, but they're out there.
Okay, so you would get this from what, self-help books or whatever?
Yeah, self-help section.
Self-help section.
They've renamed it the Jim Carrey wing.
So didn't you write yourself a check? I heard that you did. Is that true?
I wrote myself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, and I gave myself 5 years. or 3 years maybe, and I dated it Thanksgiving 1995, and I put it in my wallet and I kept it there, and it deteriorated and stuff, but then just before Thanksgiving 1995, I found out that I was going to make $10 million on, I think it was Dumb and Dumber, maybe.
Dumb and Dumber, yeah.
Yeah.
So you visualize yourself like... Visualization works if you work hard.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing. You can't just visualize and then, you know, go eat a sandwich.
And now we have another actor who I absolutely love, and that is Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington also talks about the law of attraction and how you basically manifest what you fear, also manifest what you feel. You attract likes, attract like. And you know, he doesn't really talk about the law of attraction like that, but in this one interview he talked about it, and I'm going to leave the clip for you guys, and I hope you like it, and it's freaking amazing.
I want to ask you a question, because we just had an interview the other day, and you said something that I sort of has stuck with me about what makes you afraid. And we were talking about this, and Denzel said, I don't know if you remember saying this to me, but you said you attract what you fear.
Right.
And since we spoke, I've just been thinking about that all the time. What are you afraid of? And do you agree with that comment that you attract what you fear?
Apparently, I'm afraid of great actors. Well, I mean, positively and negative. I mean, you attract. Not just what you fear. You attract what you feel, what you are, what you attract. What's on your mind? What's on your mind? Yes,
it's like the law of physics. I don't know how anybody can.
Okay, so now the next celebrity you probably don't really know about. She's very underrated, and it is Lisa Nichols. I love her. She's amazing. She is a motivational speaker who has inspired millions, you know, through seminars and through her voice, her speaking voice. You know, she was featured on the book called The Secret that was released in 2006 by Rhonda Byrne. The Secret book and movie, she was featured in that, and that's how I first heard about her. I also know she did Chicken Soup for the African American Soul. She wrote that, co-wrote that book, I believe, and she's an amazing speaker, and she also talks about the law of attraction and how your thoughts create your own reality. One of my favorite quotes from her is, "You are the designer of your destiny. You are the author of your story." And I'm going to leave you guys a clip that I really, really liked from her, and I hope you guys like it.
Your life changes when you change. Your life changes when your mindset changes. Your reality is waiting on your mind to tell it what to do and who to be. See, the first place that your life begins to transform is in your head. When you begin to think differently, your life has to show up differently. I look at my life today, and my life is a result of me seeing something I'd never seen before, doing something I'd never done before, saying something I've never said before, so that I can be the woman I've always known myself to be. I still can grow. There's lots of room for growth. But man, I never thought I would be here until I thought about being right here. See, your mind is powerful. It's creating your tomorrow. It's creating your next year. You are an amazing being, but you have to know that. So often we look at other people in our lives to show us our value, to show us our worth, to show us our beauty. When in fact, when you know who you are, when you know how powerful you are, how special, how brilliant you are, how beautiful you are, then you illuminate that to the rest of the world. And the rest of the world just agrees with you.
Oh, the next celebrity I'm going to be talking about is Big Sean. Big Sean is a rapper, and a talented rapper at that. I love his music. I am a big fan, not only of his music, but of his spirituality. You know, he also talks about the law of attraction and how he manifested his life, and about the books that he read. He's also into Abraham Hicks and, you know, The Alchemist and things like that, you know, The Secret, the law of attraction, and he is very open about it, and I love him for that, you know, because people need to know that this is real and this actually works. So, you know, I'm going to leave a few clips of his for you guys to see about him talking about the law of attraction. It is really amazing.
To have a life coach, you know what I'm saying? People don't know, I'm into like being spiritual. I'm into like the law of attraction. You know, I'm into like creating, manifesting everything, and just like making sure you got that spiritual foundation, man. So, you know, I definitely have like a life coach. I have like, you know, those books I always read, you know, like Asking It Is Given.
Like which book?
I read Asking It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks. I read The 7 Spiritual Laws by Deepak Chopra. I read The Alchemist, you know what I'm saying? I saw my mom in the midst of like 20,000 people. I saw my mom. I don't know how I saw her. It was like a beam of light was on. Literally, I couldn't it was unexplainable. But I saw her, and she was looking right at me, and then I was like, oh shit. And you know, I was trying to hold it in, and then I just cracked, you know. But you know, it is when you get that happy and you reach that level of success, that you see your stuff manifest right in front of you, you see your lifelong goals, you probably gonna.
And now this next celebrity, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know who she is, and it is Oprah Winfrey. I like Oprah Winfrey. She's an amazing person, and you know, amazing manifester, as she says so herself. You know, she always talked about new age things, you know, on her show, and she's an amazing speaker, and she, you know, always talked about the law of attraction and always wanted to bring it into light, and always had like an open-minded about it. And I just love her content about it, and I love hearing her talk about it. So I'm going to give you guys a few clips about her and what she says about the law of attraction.
That we all become exactly what you believe. So if you believe that you can do all things because you have been endowed by a power from on high, given to you by the grace of God, if you believe that, you walk into the world understanding that whatever problems you may encounter, you still have God to lean on. As I grew, my perception and understanding of what God means grew with me. I expanded my view of what it means to be a citizen of the universe, to be a part of the energy field that is omnipotent, omniscient, all-knowing, and all-present in all things. And so my confidence comes from knowing that there is something greater than myself, that I am a part of, and is also a part of me. I call that God, but I do nothing without that understanding. How I think one masters one's life is to understand that you are co-creating that life with the ultimate creator. Not understanding that puts you at your own pitiful, meager little will. And everything is left up to you. And you can't do it. You cannot survive in this world by yourself, just believing in yourself. You're not big enough to do it. I'm not big enough to do it. Nobody's big enough to do it.
Okay, guys, so this is the last celebrity I'm going to be talking about, and it is no other than Miss Beyonce. Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter. I am a huge fan of hers, and I think she's amazing at everything she does. She's an amazing performer, amazing musician, and yes, even an amazing actress. I loved her in Cadillac Records. She killed that role. I don't care what anybody says. But yeah, so Beyonce, she hasn't really literally talked about the law of attraction per se, but she talks about this one law of attraction, where you basically add as if, and you basically have your own, you create a whole different persona, a whole different person, and that person is Sasha Fierce, because Beyonce is extremely reserved and quiet and shy. If you look at her interviews, you see that she's really shy, and I'm stuttering, oh my god. She's really shy. I'm like that as well. I'm very shy and reserved and quiet. So, and she created a whole different, alter ego. She's not the only celebrity that ever done that, created a whole alter ego to basically pretend and manifest the life that you want. She basically also did identity shifting. Identity shifting is basically choosing to change your current identity because you want to become a new person and experience a new life. And Beyonce created Sasha Fierce. She said that once she got on stage and performed, it wasn't Beyonce anymore. It was Miss Sasha Fierce, because she said Beyonce cannot perform like that, because Beyonce is shy, Beyonce is reserved, Beyonce is quiet. But Miss Sasha Fierce is confident. She knows what she wants. She puts on a show. And Beyonce is more herself and more, on stage than she is when she's like on camera and just doing an interview. That's why she doesn't do interviews anymore, because she doesn't like it, and she get criticized for it as well, and she's very shy. So and I truly believe she's probably an introvert. A lot of people be like, oh, how is she an introvert? But the thing is that people don't understand about introverts is that we are quiet. We can adapt and be outgoing sometimes when we have to be, but we are quiet people and we are shy by nature. And I truly believe she, she's very private. She keeps to herself, and that's traits of introversion. And a lot of people think that introverts are stuck up and they don't like you or whatever, when that's not even the case. It's just that we like our alone time and we like to be to ourselves. But I'm going to show you guys the clips of how she explains how she turns herself into Miss Sasha Fierce to perform on stage, basically her alter ego and her identity shift. Okay, guys, and yeah, let's get into it.
Like, when you're getting ready to go on stage and perform, does Sasha Fierce, when does she show up?
Usually when I hear the crowd, when I put on my stilettos, when, like, the moment right before when you're nervous and that other thing kind of takes over for you. Then Sasha Fierce appears, and my posture and the way I speak and everything is different.
But no, is it like a process that happens too? Like you were talking about the high heels, like once the lashes go on and the makeup and all that stuff.
It's kind of like when I do a movie, becoming the character. Once you put on the wig and once you put on the clothes, you walk different. It's kind of this character that I've created over the years.
And how is Sasha Fierce different than I am?
Well, I know, definitely wearing that bodysuit. I could never walk out here and do that.
Does Sasha Fierce ever go home? Like,
sometimes, but not often. Only on special occasions.
She ever show up? Shows up sometimes at the house.
But definitely when I'm nervous or whenever I have to perform, whenever I have to do choreography or something that's difficult, and it's no different from anyone else. I feel like we all kind of have that thing that takes over when it's
so there you have it, guys. I hope you liked this video. I might do a part 2 to this. I don't know about celebrities and talking about the law of attraction. If you like this video and if you want a part two, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and hit the notification bell for more videos like this if you like more content like this. And yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching. Have a beautiful day. Bye.
Transform your life. I'm a motivational speaker when I'm not doing this, and the reason I do really well as a motivational speaker because I know what I'm talking about. You know, you looking at somebody been at the bottom before. So I'm not like some rich dude whose mama and them had some money and gave me some money. Now I'm telling y'all how to get over. No, I'm gonna tell you how to get over because I've been under. I'm gonna tell you how to get up because I've been down. I'm gonna tell you how to finish because I got off to a bad start. Now I'm about to tell you two things. Now listen to me. What I'm about to tell you, this is for spiritual people only. If you're not a spiritual person, this ain't for you. If you don't believe in God, this ain't finna do nothing for you. But I didn't know you was coming, so I have no other version. This is only people who have a faith. You ain't got to be no like born again Christian or nothing like that. You got to know that God is God. If you understand that, I can help you from here. I'm gonna give you two things that can change your life. It's two scriptures that changed my entire life. It's very simple. The cold thing about what I'm finna tell you is anybody can do it. This is what I'm finna tell you. See, I'm not finna talk to you about no education because I ain't got one. I flunked out of school. I had a severe stuttering problem. I couldn't talk outside my house. I didn't do well in school ever. I ended up flunking out of school. I'm on my third marriage. I lost everything I've owned twice. I've been homeless and lived in a car for 3 years. I'm finna tell you what I know. This ain't no fancy rich boy answer, no theories, no, you ain't got to buy no program to do this. You ain't got to go sign up. I'm telling you right now, what I'm finna tell you, if you apply it right now, can change your existence. Because everybody I know want to be happy, everybody I know want to be successful. If you don't want them two things, there's something wrong with you anyway. So now here, there is a scripture that I'm going to give you. It's a very small scripture. It's very short. I don't even know where it is in the Bible. Somebody probably know it if I say it, but I'm going to give it to you. This scripture changed my life. You have not because you ask not. You have any idea how major those words are for you? You have not because you ask not. It's such a simple scripture, but it's in your Bible. It ain't just in rich people's Bible. It's in the same copy you got. You have not because you ask not. This is the truest statement you'll hear me say today.